Alright, so these are the ribs for the hood. Now I've named the extrusions that you created. I've named them. So that's rib 1, rib 2, all the way up to, say, rib 20, for example. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to separate, for example, for rib 7, I'm going to try to isolate rib 7. So we're going to delete everything to, not delete, we're going to extrude out. We're going to cut everything to the left of it and everything to the right of it. Well, as a matter of fact, everything to the back of it and everything to the front of it. Now to do that, the method that I've figured out it works, you say, for example, rib, the one I have to do next is rib 7, okay? So if you go up here, you go into the configuration manager, click on configuration manager, and if you're on the defaults, you just double click default. You click up here on the configurations, not on the default, on the configurations. Right click, add configuration. You're gonna name it rib 7 in this case, check mark. Now it's gonna add a configuration. So you have default, which is the one we started with, all these ribs, and then rib 7. Once you select, double click rib 7, you are on rib 7. You're gonna go back to the feature manager and look at rib 7. That's what rib 7 looks like. Now you're gonna scroll down, and I've also already created planes before and after the ribs. So how do we know which one is exactly before and after? Well, get on the side of it and just hover over the planes. That's plane 4, plane 5, plane 6. So if we make a cut from plane 6 all the way to the left, we're gonna delete all those, or we're gonna extrude out all those. If we look at plane 7 and we extrude or cut out everything to the right of it, or to the front of the rib, we're gonna end up isolating it. So let's start with this. You do plane 6, that's the one we want. And now we're gonna go to features, extruded cut. Okay, you make an extruded cut, and it automatically gets you into the sketch editor. So I want you to go over here on the views, click normal ribs, which is a special view that I created. It's just normal to it. Now zoom out. The reason why you want to zoom out is so when you create this rectangle, I want you to make a big rectangle. Don't just select everything around what you can see, but make it big, because there's other elements that are probably around this big. You want to make sure you eliminate those elements as well. Well, you don't eliminate, you cut them out, you extrude cut them out. So make a big plane, exaggerate it. Not a plane, make a big sketch, exaggerate it. It's just a rectangle, 2-point rectangle, exaggerate it, make it big around it. Check mark, exit sketch, and because we started with the option of extrude cut, it's going to automatically take you to the options for extrude cut. Now look at it from the side again. If you notice, we're trying to get rid of everything to the back of this rib right here. So we don't want our cut, our arrow, to point to the front of the car. We want it to point to the back. So you click right here, reverse direction, and select, instead of blind, select through all. Make sure you eliminate absolutely everything to the back of it, to the rear. Green check mark, all of that disappears. So now again, we're doing rib 7. So go back to rib 7, select it. That's rib 7. Make sure you select the plane. You hover over the plane that is right here, so you can extrude cut everything to the front of it, or to the right in this case. Just hover over the planes. Plane 6. I'm sorry, plane 7. So plane 7 is to the front of it. Select it. Select this view, normal ribs, and again go to features, extruded cut. For extruded cut, you make a big rectangle, exaggerate it, let go, green check mark, exit sketch. It's going to automatically take you back to the extruded cut. Now look at it from the side, because this arrow is hard to see. So you're going to look at it from the side and notice that the arrow is pointing to the front of the vehicle. This time that is what we want, because a side view shows us that we're going to cut everything to the front of that rib. It's going to isolate it. So don't reverse direction, do not reverse direction, but still go through all. All of that's going to get eliminated. You green check mark, everything gets eliminated. So now you have isolated that rib, but you haven't really changed anything. All you did was, I mean, your other ribs are still there, you just can't see them because you extruded them out. So your references are going to remain there. View orientation, go back to normal ribs, and that's what you can insert on your template. Now notice that everything we've done, if you go up here back to the configuration manager, it's just a configuration. So that's the configuration rib 7. If you go back, double click default for the default configuration, you're going to be able to see the entire hood again. So now you don't really have to save all these different files, you just have different configurations. So if I double click rib 1, it's going to take a while, but if I were to double click rib 1, this rib is going to be isolated. If I double click rib 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one's going to be isolated, etc. Now you were on rib 7, so this is what it should have looked like for you, rib 7. And you don't want to just right click right now and add configuration, because if you add the configuration right now, it's going to add a configuration based off of this. So you want to go back to your default. What did I do? You're going to go back to your default and then right click configure up here, not on the default, but select that and go up here, right click, add configuration, and there you go, rib 8. Green check mark or enter. Again, you go back to the feature manager and start over. Select, extrude cuts, etc. Now you want to save that. In the next video, I'll show you how to add them onto the templates. Try to follow this thing step by step, because doing it in different orders, for example, first making a sketch and then an extruded cut, it might take it might pop up some weird stuff like which bodies do you want to do this to, and I don't know. So let's just do it like that for now. That I can guarantee you it works.